Everyone thinks the crowd knows best. Every news headline, every meme going viral, every trend shouting buy now or sell everything, tries to convince that the masses hold the key to winning in investing. But let's get real. Most of the time, the crowd is wrong, dead wrong, and it hurts. How many times have markets crashed because everyone followed the herd? How many billions were wiped out because the safe bet was anything but? The crowd moves in waves, driven not by logic, but by fear, greed, boredom, and blind trust. And while it's easy to criticize from the sidelines, it hits differently when that crash hits your portfolio. When the panic sets in, the late-night doubts creep in, questioning every move, every decision. And here's the worst part. No one talks about what comes after. The isolation. The silence after the storm, where the noise fades, and all that's left is cold regret or stubborn pride, locking you in a loop of repeating the same errors. Because here's what most don't say. The crowd isn't just wrong, sometimes. It's systemically wrong when it comes to real investing breakthroughs. The mainstream meme casts investors as rational calculators who process data perfectly, but that's a lie sold to keep the system running. Emotional, sloppy decisions, herd mentality, and yes, outright panic shape the markets more than cold analysis ever does. It's painful to admit, but knowing this is the first step to breaking free from the chains of mediocrity. If your investments feel like a roller coaster and your gut screams distrust towards the popular call, you're not alone. You're actually breathing the rare air of clarity that separates the average from the exceptional. Now, imagine flipping the script, knowing decisively when the crowd will be wrong next and how to ride the wave against them instead of with them. The secret lies not in following more data, but in understanding the why behind the crowd's flawed moves. The why isn't complex psychology or impenetrable formulas. It's simple. The crowd runs on fear, greed, and the need for comfort. When a new idea or disruptive opportunity emerges, the mass ignores or fights it, because change is uncomfortable and risky. Comfort chains even the smartest investors to the herd's predictable missteps. Here's the secret weapon: realizing that true progress comes from the edges, the outliers who refuse consensus, who choose chaos over comfort because they believe in something bigger. It's not about avoiding risk in the traditional sense. It's about embracing the right risk while everyone else scrambles to hide. This means you start questioning everything the crowd takes as gospel: the headlines, the so-called experts, the trending hot picks. Don't just doubt, dissect the reasons why the crowd is buying or selling. Follow the money deep, track who really benefits, whose interests shape the narrative. Spoiler: it's rarely the retail investor. And don't confuse patience with passivity here. Patience is a weapon. It's knowing when to step back, observe carefully, and wait for the real value to emerge beneath the noise. The market's chaos can make you feel desperate to act. Resist. The long game punishes the wild guesses and rewards the disciplined thinkers who burn slowly but fiercely. It's about aligning with a few rare truths, not chasing every shiny moment. It's brutal because it's lonely. While the crowd yell for instant gains and viral hype, you need the courage to walk away, rethink, and rebuild your strategy on foundations others don't see or choose to ignore. But what about the pain? That paralyzing fear of missing out, the pressure to perform, the ghosts of past mistakes whispering doubts. They're real, and they're heavy. Investing isn't just numbers. It's surviving your own mind. To rise above the crowd means to face that discomfort square on. Push through the noise of panic and the seduction of shortcuts. Your greatest strength as an investor isn't your account balance. It's your ability to define your reality differently than everyone else. This means embracing uncomfortable truths. Sometimes the best move is not to move at all. Sometimes opportunity is hidden in what everyone else ignores. Sometimes losing is the price for learning what no headline will ever teach you. Here's where the life-changing advice lands. Build your own network of rare connections. The crowd is loud and vast, but fragmented. The power lies in finding those few who see clearly, who burn with the same refusal to accept easy answers, who are willing to share brutal truths and bold ideas without sugarcoating. This isn't about networking for the sake of surface-level relationships. It's about aligned synergy, where your strengths meet others' brilliance, and together you create something the crowd cannot comprehend or dismantle. The isolated genius is a myth. The future belongs to those who dare to connect selectively, fiercely, and with purpose. Most investors play defense, protecting what they have, stuck chasing average returns, forever worried about the next crash. But the real game changers don't wait for permission from the masses. They leap when others hesitate. They act when others freeze. This isn't reckless gambling. It's ruthless sovereignty over your own will. This means refusing to be ruled by fear or convenience. It means adopting a mindset where every loss is a brutal lesson and every win is fuel to push harder, smarter, better. The crowd is asleep on this. You don't have that luxury. The world you face is a tangled mix of illusions, promises of freedom, while burying your fire beneath conformity and convenience. For investors, this means the system is stacked with narratives designed to keep you in line, chasing benchmarks, overvaluing liquidity, glorifying the herd's wisdom. It's a cage disguised as opportunity. Break that cage. Reject the idea that your value is tied to what everyone thinks. The edge is not only a place of discomfort, it is a place of power. The more you distance your thinking from the noise, the clearer that power becomes. Here's the truth many won't say out loud. The crowd's wisdom often amplifies mediocrity and punishes the rare. That's why so many brilliant investors get lost, misunderstood, or silenced. The infrastructure for exceptional thinking does not exist in mainstream channels. Making noise gets rewarded. Actual insight rarely does. That's why survival is not enough. You need to thrive beyond survival. To become one of those rare signals, a spark in chaos that others mistake for randomness, but is actually clarity in motion. So how does this all translate to action? First, build a filter so strong you only listen to the few voices who push you further, not the noise that keeps you safe. Second, embrace discomfort daily. Analyze why every popular trend feels too easy or too hot, and fight the instinct to jump aboard just because the crowd does. Third, refine patience. Invest like a hunter stalks the right prey, not a gambler chasing the next spin. Fourth, cultivate skepticism as your foundation. Question everything, including your own assumptions. Fifth, connect deeply. Seek those few who share your fire, share ideas brutally honestly, and challenge your thinking relentlessly. Breaking from the crowd is more than a tactic. It's a revelation. It shattered old maps of investing success and redraws a new territory where the extraordinary survive, not by fitting in, but by standing out. The masses crave comfort and belonging. You crave mastery and impact. The difference in mindset is the difference between a portfolio stuck in cycles of panic and correction and one that quietly builds unshakable power across decades. Now is not the time to be complacent. The noise will only get louder. The false prophets will only multiply. The illusions will only thicken. But inside the storm is a current that pulls the rare few towards something greater. You can feel it, the fire that no comfort can extinguish, the painful but necessary path to autonomy and transformation. It isn't for everyone, and that's exactly why it works. Because the crowd will always chase the illusion of easy answers. This path demands brutal honesty with yourself and the world you navigate. It demands wrestling with doubts, losses, and delays. But it also offers something priceless: the power to rewrite your investing story, to align with your highest potential, and to build not just wealth, but a legacy of freedom, clarity, and courage. One move beyond the crowd, one radical step towards sovereignty at a time. Never forget, the crowd's failure is your opportunity. Not because you're smarter or luckier, but because you're willing to see the world differently, to endure the truth others avoid, and to embrace risk as the price of freedom. The crowd moves together, but the future belongs to the few who dare to break free. Let that reality sink in. It is the biggest edge in investing you'll ever find. Hold it tight, sharpen it daily, and watch how your world begins to change, quietly, powerfully, and permanently.